Hello, hello, friends. How are we today? Or this evening, I should say. A little bit crazy here, but all is good. Take a few minutes to let everyone chime in. Nice. Let's see, just looking around the room, making sure everything looks good. Just me today with so we've got some crystals over to this side. Oh, and my water bottle with some candles and still some more on this side. Um, I even got some citrine and rose quartz on me with some moonstone. That's one of those for the third eye chakra for anybody who wants to help open that today or this evening. I might say today as we go along, but that's okay. There's also some amethyst around the room. Oh, I forget what the name of it is. I have a hard time pronouncing it. However, um, there is this one, which is it's a beautiful blue, might I add. That is also specific to the third eye. Um, I want to say it's lapis lazuli, but again, like don't quote me on it. Um, a lot of these stones that were mentioned as I was researching are really just great overall crystals to have on you, just to enhance your vibes, your feelings, all that jazz. We'll place this one over here for right now. Um, to really help you gain into your highest alignment and your greatest good, so that way you can show up as the best version of yourself. When I was in high school, I had a headmistress. Her quote to all of us was that each of us become the best, most authentic version of ourselves because that's what the world needs. And I believe that. It's been a while because she's no longer with us, so I haven't been able to feel her energy. But I do see her presence as guidance from time to time, whether it's through numbers, um, signs, whether it be animals. I know I share a lot of that on my page if you follow my stories. But she is one of my spirit guides as well, or part of my spirit team. I share this because it's really important because the third eye is all about intuition. It's also associated with your pineal gland. It's actually right in between the eyebrows, but it also goes into about midway into your brain. And your intuition is huge for you to better know yourself, where you stand, what decisions need to be made. Sorry, I thought there was more light coming from behind me. What decisions need to be made for you as you live out your purpose, your highest and greatest good, and go from here, which I think is really important because Virgo, that's the sign that the new moon is in, is an earth sign. It's all about grounding energy, getting rooted, and specifically with Virgos because they are part of the day to day function or the routine and just having things flow. They are very attention to detail or detail oriented, which sometimes can make us stressed out or cause a little bit of anxiety. Totally normal. That's what happens in the planning process a little bit. So, breathing and breathing exercises do help in order to calm down our parasympathetic nervous system, or essentially the nervous system that's not responsible for moving our body. You've got two parasympathetic and the motor. Motor is the ones that go to your muscles so we can do the things that we're doing today. Parasympathetic takes care of everything else. It goes from the brain to the spinal cord, that's another big one, but then out to the rest of the body where it takes care of how the body moves internally and the things we don't usually think about or have to think about, like breathing, digestion. A funny fact about digestion, that is also the part of the body where Virgos are in charge of, if you will, or they're part of it has to do with the GI tract. I'm not sure how that came about or where that goes. But we are going to be focusing on different exercises that also help to improve our digestion. As I was advertising this to my classes this week, I understand a Pilates class on 4:30 on a Friday isn't exactly the greatest sell. Um, but where was I going with that? Oh, I had mentioned that they have the digestion as part of what they focus on. And we were going to doing exercises to promote good and healthy digestion. So in case anybody is wondering, no, this isn't laxative Pilates. This is just something to help us get moving and flowing and essentially more grounded. The purpose of this is, as always, active meditation to get in touch with ourselves and to get closer to our manifestations. New moons are all about creating something new, setting up the system, and beginning something new, hence new moon. So that's what I want us to focus on with this Virgo energy. Where are areas where you can expand your day to day, the routine, the flow, the areas where you're planning and you make things detail oriented in order to progress and move forward? So I think that's really important as we go about our day and essentially any part outside of the movement space. I think that's really important. Um, so, yes, I feel like I've done enough talking. Oh, actually, no, I haven't. There's one little bit more of this interlude or this intro. This class specifically is not prenatal friendly. I do have some props nearby that we can use. Basically, if you're over 20 weeks or feel uncomfortable lying on your back, just put a prop underneath, support yourself a little bit. If there's anything that your doctor told you that you need to be concerned about or monitor, please follow that advice. I am not a doctor, I am not a healthcare practitioner or provider. I'm just a Pilates instructor who's really into magic and mystical things and using what nature and earth has created for us to help us tap into our highest energy and most authentic potential. That's really what I am. So with that said, let's go ahead and get grounded and get started with this. So yeah. Oh, by the way, today is also Yom Kippur, which is, I found out, the Jewish New Year. I'm excited. So we get to celebrate that as well, a little bit before sundown. So go ahead, sit in a comfortable position. However, this works for you. Feet nice and heavy. They can be bent, they can be straight, whichever. We're going to start off with the Pilates breathing exercises in order to get grounded. So hands wherever they're comfortable for you. I like mine on my shins, but you're going to go ahead, take a nice deep breath in, and then exhale, send all of that air out. Keep flowing like so, just focusing on your breath as you're getting into your meditative Zen headspace before we start moving. As you breathe in, feeling that warm air or cool air, I should say, go in through your nose, and then exhale the warm air out of your mouth. If you feel so inclined to do a yogi breath, be my guest. Deep breath in and exhale out. Now, as you're breathing, continue to focus on your breath. And I want you to envision a cord going down your spine, coming out through the base of your pelvis, and going down into the earth's core, getting connected with it. And once you've reached the earth's core, continue to breathe. And I want you to slowly envision light coming out from the core, going up the cord that you created from the base of your spine, and then let it go into your body. Feel your hips starting to get warm, going up through the torso, maybe to your shoulders and out through the crown of your head, sparking this nice, warm bonfire sensation inside of you, or at least that's what I'm feeling right about now. And then I want you to continue that cord, or think of that cord going out through the crown of your head, and just continue breathing it, letting it get bigger and longer and just grow even taller. Like you just found another inch or two and you want to create more space. And then this cord is going to loop back to the cord that you created from the base of your spine as you become one with cosmic source. Continue to breathe. This time on your exhale, I want you to tuck your chin towards your chest. Slowly roll down, peeling your head or your spine as if it's up against an imaginary wall, and just reach towards your toes and hold. Couple more times here. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale, filling up your lungs with as much air as you possibly can. And then exhale, send all of that air out. On your next inhale, I want you to roll, slowly roll up, sit up nice and tall, and then finish by opening your heart up towards the ceiling. Really look up or keep your eyes closed. Feel that nice broad chest, your collarbones smiling as you just feel yourself opening up. And then exhale again, flip your head, tuck your chin towards your chest, roll forward, reach towards your toes. Now marrying the movement with your breath. So inhale, begin to roll right back up. Sit up tall and then open your chest out towards that wall behind you. Go ahead a couple more times like this. Roll forward, going down your legs, reaching towards your toes. And then go ahead, inhale, roll right back up, creating and feeling like you've just made more space inside your body. Last time, roll forward and bring yourself right back up. Now, you can keep your hands on your thighs. I went back a little bit. I got a little carried away. Or you can bring them out in front of you. But we're going to go ahead and roll back. So I want you to tuck your hips towards your face. Create the letter C as you roll back towards that wall behind you. Maybe you lie down, maybe you don't. Arms can go up overhead. And then you're just going to go ahead, curl, reach towards your toes. Same thing. Just fold over your pants and breathe. Roll back. You don't have to sit up tall unless you want to and it brings you joy. And then you're going to roll yourself right back up. Good. Just flow like this. I have my timer set to 30 seconds. So once it goes off and we're saved by the bell, we'll move on to the next thing, which is just going to give us a little bit more of an ab warm up or get those nice and roasty toasty. I'm already feeling a bit roasty toasty right about now. So hopefully you are too. But I just want you to on this one, come up about halfway, hold. Legs can stay bent or they can stay straight, but you're going to lift one leg up, bring it in towards your chest, really hold that curve, and then lower yourself right back down. Switch other leg lifts and then lowers right back down. And continue to breathe. Just doing one leg at a time. And then if you start to feel a little bit more comfortable, go ahead, balance on your butt a little bit more, and start doing a little bit of toe taps. However that works for you. Ooh, feeling the abs just get toasty and working on balance a little bit. Continue to breathe. I will say I'm moving more at my knees than the hip socket. Ooh, I just felt that change. Nice. All right. Now, legs are going to stay in that tabletop, and I just want you to roll back and down. Arms are going to go up towards the ceiling, wrists in line with your shoulders. If this is too uncomfortable, go ahead, place your feet down, but you're going to go ahead, find your chest lift. You're going to lift your head, neck, and chest up. Base of the shoulder blades come off the mat. Reach towards that wall in front of you, eyes to thighs, and then lower yourself right back down. Arms go back up towards the ceiling. You're going to go ahead, curl up, look at your pants, and then lower yourself right back down. Continue to flow as you lift and lower. Now, if you want a little bit more abs, you can take one leg, reach it out in front of you, bring it low and down towards the mat, reset as you come right back in. Other leg reaches, and then give yourself a reset. If not, both hands can reach out in front of you, and then both hands, legs, and then everything resets as you come right back up. Go ahead, reach forward, and then bring yourself right back in. Couple more times like this as you lift and lower. And on your next one, I want you to hold it. Keep your arms down by your side and start to pump as you breathe in for 5 counts and then out for 5 counts. We're just going to do 30 seconds. So whatever 30 seconds of the 100 is, that's what we've got. If this is a little too spicy, bend the knees in. You can even rest the head, neck, and chest down. But I challenge you to keep everything lifted and try to bring your legs as low as you can down towards the mat as you breathe in for 5 and out for 5. Keep going. We've got 5 more seconds. Breathe in, breathe out. Last one in and out. And then go ahead, reset, knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice moment. Maybe sway from side to side. Because then we're going to go ahead, do a little bit of play on coordination. So elbows are going to be bent. Fingertips are going to go up towards the ceiling. Legs or knees are also going to be bent in towards your chest. Head can be down. I'm encouraging to have it lifted. Again, a little bit more abs, but I want you to breathe. Find that 100 shape. Reach everything out long. Hold. Open, close the legs, bend the knees, bend your elbows to reset. Reach everything out long. Open, close, bend your knees, bend your elbows. Keep going, just like so. Trying to get the legs as low as you can to the mat and legs as wide as you can as you open and close. We've got 3, 2, last one. All right, and then same thing, knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice moment. Feet can come down onto the floor in a bent position, arms down by your side. And we're going to go ahead and do some bridging. So just keep yourself nice and stable. One way to make this more difficult is bent elbows or arms going up towards the ceiling, whichever brings you the most joy. But you're going to go ahead, tuck your hips towards your face, slowly roll up into your bridge, send the weight into your shoulders, and then melt yourself all the way back down. Flowing as if you have a slinky going down your spine. Hips towards your face, roll the slinky up like it's a staircase, and you want it to go down one step at a time, and then melt yourself all the way back down. And continue to flow, rolling up, and then rolling right back down. Again, if you want a little bit more spice, as you lift and lower, maybe you come up onto your toes. Brings the back of your leg a little bit more, goes into my calf as you lift and melt right back down. And lower. I love working on the exhale for this one. Exhale, tuck, roll up, lift. Inhale, get longer. Exhale, melt yourself right back down. You're going to come up into that bridge one more time. Hold. You're going to go ahead, lift one leg up, go into marching, lower right back down, alternate to lift the other leg and lower right back down. And I want you to switch from side to side or alternate your legs, still keeping your hips up as high as you can. And know you can reset your arms as you need to, in terms of if you have them like me, you need to bring them down towards the mat to give yourself a little bit more stability. Fingertips going up towards the ceiling, go for it. Or maybe you're out long, you want to bend, and then bring your arms all the way up. But keep going like this, marching as you lift and lower. Now, you're going to take your leg, whichever one is your favorite, you're going to lift it up, and you're either going to keep it bent or straight. It's a lower and lift, so you're going to lower it down towards the mat, and then lift to come right back up. If it's a bent leg, similar to the toe taps, lower it down and lift. However this works, it makes sense for your body, but I want you to keep your hips as still and even as you can. As in, the leg that's off the mat, that can start to do a little dance. Don't let it dance too much. But next time it comes up, switch legs. That foot comes down. Give yourself a moment to reset your bridge. Get yourself nice and long. Other leg's going to lift. Bent or straight, completely up to you. You're going to go ahead, lower down, and lift. Bent leg, more of a toe tap. Straight leg, just a little bit heavier. You're going to feel the work in your back just a little bit more as you lower and lift. Most importantly, continue to breathe. In fact, I want you to marry the movement with your breath. You get to decide your pace and how fast you go, because another thing to transfer into life, we are all at the perfect pace, at our own speed, along our journey, going on however it's meant to be, and we are exactly where we are supposed to be at that time. Next time the leg is up, go ahead, bend it, lower the leg down, melt yourself right back down, then maybe give yourself a little bit of a sway, because bridging is a supine back bend. That's just a fancy name for saying you get to bend your back while you're lying down on your back. Oh, cool. All right. Now, I'm going to go ahead. Arms are going to go up towards the ceiling. Legs can be bent or straight. We're just going to roll up. I like to bring my hands out behind me because I can. Then you're going to roll, tuck your chin towards your chest. Come up. Legs are going to be out long. Take them out if you need to. Hands on either side of your legs. And I specifically want you to bring them in front of your knees. These are compressions. When I was first taught them, I was told they were an exercise in failure, and my brain just went, oh shit. So if you had that moment too, that's okay. We're going to have an oh shit moment together. But part of this, or the reason why it's an exercise in failure, is because I want you to bring your hands as close to your toes as you can. The more you compress your torso onto your pants, the harder this is going to be. Also, press your hands down into the mat. Let it get nice and heavy. If you need to bring it back, totally go for it. But again, hands are either knee or further. So also you can go onto your fingertips, whatever's more helpful. But really press your hands down. We're going to take one leg, lift it up towards the ceiling, lower it right back down, alternate other leg lifts, and then lowers right back down. I want you to try inching your hands forward as you lift and lower as much as you can. And see, can you still, lift your leg as you lift it up towards the ceiling. I think this is my nasty spot today, and we're going to stick with it because I did not do anything to get myself too uncomfortable yet today. And I feel there's a task each of us should do just to get out of our comfort zone because that's where we grow. Really press your hands down and just go where you can. After this one, or once you've done your last one on either side, shake out your legs, give yourself a little dance, shake it off. And then we're going to attempt both legs. Hands can be back a little bit more because this one, I want you to really see like, well, how high can you get your legs up without letting the torso go back? So go ahead, same thing. Maybe bring your hands a little bit closer to your legs because you're going to press down into your hands, lift both legs, lower right back down. This one, I want you to get more leverage. If you can't get too much leverage, that's totally fine. But I like to go on my fingertips, really use that as leverage to lift and lower right back down. Whew. I also feel my gut just going like, whew, every single time. It makes me think of that song, Everybody Was Kung Fu Fighting, where it goes, whew. That's what my gut is saying right now. After this one, you're going to go ahead, lift, lower, shake out the legs, and then you're going to bring your legs out wide to the side. Turn out your foot, as in side of your foot is going up towards the ceiling. Feet can be flexed or pointed. Point is going to give you some style points, but really have your legs out wide. Hands are still going to be in the center. And again, use your knees as a reference. Reach forward. You're going to go ahead, pick up one leg at a time like this. Like you're kicking a soccer ball up towards the ceiling, lower right back down. Holy quad right there that time. Lift the other leg up, lower right back down. If you need to flex your feet because you got a little bit of a cramp, totally fine. Maybe one day I'll be able to do this and not cramp, but today is not that day. It's just a sign that I need a little bit more water once we're done and get out of here. Ugh. Keep pressing your hands down to lift that leg up and just honor the feelings. One more to either side. And then same thing, shake out the legs. As always, we're going to try this with both legs as well. If you're able to do it, awesome sauce. If not, then go back to the one leg at a time. But you're going to go ahead, do the same thing. Press your hands down into the mat as much as you can. Lift both legs up, lower right back down. This is going to help us when we get to stomach massage later. So really press your hands down, lift, and lower. My left, yeah. I'm one of those that I still need to put my hands up to be right and left. And even then, I'm a little silly. I still see two L's with both of my hands making up. Just one's backwards. Ugh. Keep pressing your hands down. We got one more. Good. And then go ahead, shake it off. Now, we're going to go ahead, give ourselves a little bit of a break. Come to side lying, whatever is comfortable for you. I like to be propped up onto my arm. You can have your legs out long. In fact, that bottom leg can be bent, whatever is comfortable for you. But you're going to go ahead, take that top leg, bring it in line with your hip, and you're going to go ahead, sweep it forward, and then sweep it back. Hip is staying still to start. And if you'd like to, you can flex your foot on the way forward and then point your foot as you go back. Keep going just like this, a flex and kick, again, going with that soccer ball, and then point as you reach out. Keep flowing just like this. And again, we're giving a shout out to all the Virgos because we are in Virgo season. And you know what? Oh, not only are we in Virgo season, but it's a new moon in Virgo. So anybody who's got a sun and moon in the same sign, like me, you are a very special person. One thing I do want you to do is try to keep your back or your side as flat as you can. Think plank. Ooh, I'm starting to get a little wobbly. So on the next one, we're gonna stop. Ankle in line with your hip, and you're gonna bend and press. You're gonna bend the knee in towards your t-shirt and then push the leg right back out. Flex as you bend in, point as you go out. Again, just bringing in a little bit of ankle flexibility, mobility, because motion is lotion, and it feels nice to move everything that we possibly can. I also think of my toes rolling, just like how you did with your head going down towards your body. Tuck your toes first, then point your foot, reach your foot out towards the wall like you want to touch it, then flex. Knee goes in towards your face, onto your hip flexor. Also, maybe your butt is giving yourself a little bit of feedback, being like, I'm feeling all that's happening right now. You're gonna bend and extend. Go ahead, a couple more times. Then next time the leg is out long, turn your toes up towards the ceiling. I'm going to take my hand off my hip and put it in front of me just to get a little bit more support. But you're going to lift your leg up towards the ceiling, lower it right back down. Same jazz, kick up, lower down. Like you're kicking a soccer ball still. Also, I never played soccer. I was very much into sports and I've tried a lot of different sports. That team sport was not one of them. Like many other Pilates humans, I started in the dance world, not of my own choice, and yeah, it wasn't my choice to go into dance, but I really liked moving. It helped me get some energy out because I was also called the Energizer Bunny as a kid. Next time your leg is down, maybe if you need to, shake your hips out a little bit, but we're going to finish off with some circles. So you're right at the light at the end of the tunnel. So go ahead. I like to start by kicking the leg forward, then let it go up towards the ceiling, however much you're able to, behind you, and then lower right back down. Really press your forearm down into the mat to help you get that lift as you kick, lift, and lower right back down. Now, your circle does not have to be as large as mine. Again, I just admitted I started out in the dancing world, and dancers tend to be in the bendy category or have larger ranges of motion. So if you have your circle like mine, awesome sauce. Keep going. If you don't, make it smaller, but have it be whatever your largest circle is. Ooh, and really just honor the burning in your butt right now. Go ahead, next time your leg lowers down, reverse. Lift up towards the ceiling, lower it down towards the camera, or whatever the front of the room is for you, and then kick back. Keep going as you lift, lower, sweep the leg back, and breathe. However, it makes sense for your brain. Because again, we're powering the movement with our breath, and we're marrying the movement with the breath. But however you breathe is the best way to breathe. So it's more important that we're powering the body with oxygen rather than if you're kicking the leg forward or backwards on your inhale or exhale, and then doing an inhale or exhale as you lift the hip of the leg up towards the ceiling. But next time your leg comes down, give yourself a moment. And we're going to go ahead and lie down on our stomachs. Again, if you don't feel comfortable being on your stomach for any reason, you're going to bring yourself into a bird dog position because we're going to do some swans or back bending. So your alternative is bend and come up. A little bit more like a tricep press or push up, but that's the modification for what you're feeling right now. Everyone else, you're going to lie down. You're going to lift up, find your cobra, for lack of better wording, and then lower yourself right back down. Fun fact, I also really enjoy yoga. I started doing a teacher training program for yoga, get that stopwatch going, just because I really wanted to enhance my Pilates practice with that nice, quiet, calmness, taking away the monkey brain or mind chatter as you flow through. And I feel like yoga does so much of a better job harnessing that energy than we do in Pilates. But inhale, come up. That's the one I like. And then exhale, lower down. Keep going like this. Another layer of added challenge is to take your hands off the mat, let them hover. You're going to lift up and then melt yourself right back down. Continue to breathe as you lift and lower. Let your legs be nice and heavy like a bag of cement. That's going to be your anchoring force as you lift up. Shoulder blades going back up towards the ceiling or that wall behind you, and then melt yourself right back down. Keep going like this as you lift and lower. Last little bit of spice, if you're up for it, is to let your arms reach out behind you as much as you can. Maybe you feel like a superhuman flying through the sky, and then lower yourself right back down. You don't need to bend your arms in and out unless you want to, but it's an inhale, lift, reach out behind you, legs stay nice and heavy as you can, and then lower yourself right back down. Come up, and then lower. This one always gives me lotus vibes a little bit. I know our feet aren't coming off, but you're still reaching out behind you as much as you can, and then lowering yourself right back down. Go ahead, lift and lower. And then last one, lift, melt. Hands are going to go back onto the mat. You can bend your knees, sway from side to side if that feels nice. But legs, they're going to be together and they're going to be out long. Heels can be together, toes are apart in that nice little V-foot. And hands, they're going to be, actually forearms are going to be onto the mat. You can hold your hands, you can have them out long like the Sphinx position, but heart is shining towards the wall in front of you. You're looking at it and you're breathing and you're reaching your legs out behind you. Maybe they lift, maybe they don't, but you're going to bend one knee. Heel's going to go towards your butt. Kick it right back out. Other leg, bend it in and then kick it right back out. Nice single leg kick. Maybe you flex as you come in, point as you go out, but alternate your legs from side to side as you kick and just breathe. And if it makes sense for your brain, still keep your chest lift, but maybe both legs kick this time. So both legs come in, both legs reach out. I still enjoy the flex and bend as much as possible. And the one thing that I want you to feel is like your thighs want to come off the mat. They don't have to come off the mat, but I want you to feel like they want to lift and then lower right back down. Last one. Then you're going to go ahead, lay yourself down. I like to have my hands palm over palm to make a nice little pillow for my forehead. Then you're going to go ahead and rest it there. Legs out behind you. Bent, heels together, toes are apart. Flex foot, think of that going up towards the ceiling because you're going to go ahead like we're finger painting or toe painting like when we were kids. The feet up towards the ceiling. Leave that paint onto the ceiling and then lower yourself right back down. Really feel the lower back body work as you lift and lower. I've got glutes, hamstrings, calves, all that jazz. I have a love-hate relationship with saying the name of muscles because the only ones that really know the names of them are the ones who studied the names of the muscles, aside from the ones that are just more popular. But the next time you have your legs up, you're going to hold it there, then you're going to pulse it up towards the ceiling. And just breathe as you lift and lower, feeling that work in the back body just a little bit more. Yes, lower back is speaking. If it's speaking too much for you, then give yourself a moment. But we're in our last 15 seconds. So just breathe in and out, bouncing the legs up towards the ceiling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the legs down. Give yourself a moment. Maybe you shake out the hips. Maybe you bend the knees to shake out the hips. But we're going to do a play on double leg kick. So for that, hands are going to be out behind you, palm over palm, kind of interlace them. Get them as up high as you can onto your back. You're going to start with your legs bent in, pointed or flexed. I'm going with flexed to start with. But inhale, legs and arms go out long. Find that superhero feeling. Lower yourself right back down. Reach out and lower down. We got to reset the stopwatch. But as you continue doing this, I want you to switch the way you look on the mat, as in look up at that wall in front of you each time you come up, but then put your cheek down on the mat as you lower down. Lift and reach, look at the wall, opposite cheek comes down onto the mat. Think of a seesaw. Inhale, lift the torso, exhale, bend the knees, lower down. I just like inhaling whenever I go into a back bend. Again, it works for me. You also get bigger with each inhale. Whew. So you kind of use your body's natural mechanics to help you get your largest expression right now. Last one. Then you're going to go ahead, place your hands onto the mat. Give yourself a little bit of a child's pose. Wiggle from side to side. My belly of my crop top left a little bit of a sweat mark on the mat. Hopefully you've got a little bit of a sweat mark too. I can already feel the dew coming up on my forehead, which is awesome. But we're gonna go ahead to the other side for our legs. So I'm just gonna have my head facing the opposite direction. You can face the back of the room if you want to, but friendly reminder, your top hand, the one that's closest to the mat, is just in a comfortable position. I like my forearm. You can have your hand onto your head. You can even do the OG version of hands behind the head. I know I didn't say that one on the other side, but that's an option for you if you'd like. Legs are going to be out long. Bottom leg can be bent, but that top leg is going to reach towards the mat or the end of the mat. You're going to lift your leg up, ankle in line with your hip as much as you can. Start with your side kick. Really put your forearm into the mat. Press it away as you reach the leg forward. Hip stays completely still and kick it back. Again, you're thinking plank vibes from the hip up towards your head. What that means is the shoulders and hips, they're all stacked on top of each other as you sweep the leg forward and back. I think, yeah, flexed, forward, point on the way back. Sometimes my brain just thinks the opposite is a fantastic idea to work out. Torso for now is staying nice and still, and you're just focusing on the movement coming out of your hip socket as you kick the soccer ball to the wall in front of you and reset your body as you sweep it back. Keep going just like this as you breathe, inhale and exhale. Or maybe you're exhaling now. Get into your smallest expression. Inhale, get big and puffy. But next time your leg is in line with your hip, you're going to go ahead, bend the knee in towards your chest, getting it nice and close. Reach the leg right back out. You can flex on the way in, point on the way out, and just continue to breathe, pushing your forearm into the mat to help lift the side just a little bit more. I know I'm guilty of having it sink into the mat, so if you're like me, go ahead and just press it away as you bend and extend. Checking what time we have left. We're going for 15 more, bending and extending. This one is going to be a little longer because I checked my stopwatch and it was just stuck on the end of the 30 seconds. So, whew. Next time your leg is out long, toes go up towards the ceiling. You're going to go ahead, lift the leg up and lower right back down. Get us to reset on the right time again. Go ahead, lift. Oh, yeah. I like my hand in front for this one because it gives me a little bit more support. Keep that torso lifted, heart nice and proud. Like a boxer, athlete or breed, doesn't matter. Yeah, there we go. About to say something felt missing. I was missing the flex and pointing of my feet. Ooh, booty is still feeling that work though. Go ahead, press that forearm away as you lift and lower. And then you're going to go ahead, make your circle however it makes sense for you. I like to start forward and then go up towards the ceiling, reach it behind you as you can, and then lower it right back down. I want you to make your largest, most fluid, and ooey gooey circle that you're able to, making nice large circles out and around. And just noticing how this side feels different from the other side. After the circle, you're going to go ahead, reverse your direction. So for me, I'm going to kick back first, lift it up towards the ceiling, lower the leg down, and then sweep it back. I do have my entire leg moving in my hip socket. In terms, I switch the toes to go up towards the ceiling. That way I can get this range of motion. Bring my foot back down. Toes are now, or that top of my foot is facing towards that wall behind me. And sweep it back. Toes towards the ceiling. Toes or top of the foot to the wall. Sweep back. Last one. Ooh. And you're going to go ahead. Give yourself a nice moment. Sway from side to side, or give yourself a second. But we are going to come to a sitting position now. So I want you to scoot more towards the front of your mat. We're going to do a little bit of rolling like a ball because it's fun. If I don't roll right now, but I got a little excited. So I want you to have your heels as close to your butt as you can. And just make sure you have enough room to roll behind you, as in I don't want your head to be going onto the floor. Please stay on your mat. But heels as close as you can. Bring yourself into the smallest ball that you possibly can. Look at your knees. Maybe there's space in between your knees. Then you're going to point your toes. Hold on to your shins if you want more of a challenge. Give your shins a nice big hug. But point the toes, balance on your butt, because you're going to let the toes come off, and hold and just breathe in terms of you're going to get to a point where that inhale is going to want to take you back, go to the base of your shoulder blades, and then exhale, come right back up. Wasn't expecting my knees to go into my chest that time, but you're going to inhale, roll back, exhale, come up. Keep going just like this as you roll back and come up. If your feet touch the floor, that's okay. Luckily, I have my clip supporting me. In other words, I'm able to keep the head lifted because I know the clip will touch the mat. And the more I feel the clip go into my head, there's probably too much weight going into my shoulders, but on the wobbles as you roll back and up. Couple more, trying to make your ball just a little smaller. Nice. And then we're going to go ahead, let your feet come down. I want you to grab onto your ankles or whatever part of your leg works. You can scooch back just a little bit, but you're going to take one leg, lift it up towards your face, pull it in as much as you can, lower it right back down, switch, other leg lifts, lowers right back down. We're going to layer into open leg rocker. This one is spicy of all the rocking exercises. So if you're not into it, then just pick one of the layers that we do before, even if that's just holding the shape and the position, because you're still making yourself stronger. But next time you have one leg up, I want you to point your toes, find yourself to a balance point. Let me reset the stopwatch. Lift the other leg up. Hold. I want you to think about clapping the legs together. And then let your legs come together. They're going to touch and then open right back up, just like how we did with those compressions. So go ahead, legs come together, pants and socks touch, and then open right back out. Embrace the wobbles, as in, like, I get to a point where my body wants to roll, and it's like, no, 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 we're going to stay up as you open and close. And we're going to play around with this because this is the shape, this rounded upper body while your legs stay open. So find a spot where you feel like, yeah, I think I could hold this. And just like how you did rolling like a ball, inhale, roll back to the base of your shoulder blades, and then exhale, whoop, roll back up. It's okay if you get stuck, like me, in that little tortoise or turtle shape. Ooh, speaking of turtle or tortoise shapes, because I got extra excited, I received in the mail from Mindful Souls a snow obsidian turtle crystal that's with us tonight. It's actually right by that light over there. You can't see him, but he is beautiful. I'll call him Snowy. Snowy the turtle. Let's do a couple more like this, doing our open leg rocker as you roll back to the base of your shoulder blades and then roll right back up. Last one. And then lift. Go ahead, bring your legs together, let them come down onto the floor. Give yourself a nice little shake and go ahead, scoot your leg out. Now, We've got that stomach massage jazz. So if you need to take a moment, shake out your legs, do whatever it is that you need to do. Maybe it's a quick figure four stretch or butterfly stretch to open up the hips. But we're going to start with round back. Hands are going to go out in front of you. Again, you're aiming for the legs, your hands to be above or in front of your knees with your legs. Wow, that was so difficult for me to come out and get out of my mouth. Throat chakra problems right now. So we're going to repeat that again. Hands in front of your knees, close to your legs. You're going to go ahead, press them down, lift them up, hold, bend, and extend. Make whatever micro adjustments you need to as you bend, oops, and press. I like to flex and point my feet because that's what you do on the reformer. Flex in, point away, and just keep going. Keeping the torso as still as you can as you bend and extend. Virgos, you brought out one of the most challenging classes I have programmed today or thus far for this new moon. Kudos. I am very happy. Shake it out, give yourself a nice moment because there's still more. There's actually a few different layers. So that's baseline. If any other layer I throw out at you does not agree with you, come back to this one, although that is pretty spicy. Next one, flat back. You might like this a little bit more. Hands are going to go behind you. Think of that proud open chest that we worked on earlier. Heart going up toward the ceiling. Let your collarbone smile. Legs are going to be together. You're going to go ahead and lift them up. Same thing. Bend the knees in, flex your feet. I'm in a V foot. I forgot to say that last time. And then you're going to reach your legs out long. It's a bend and extend. Letting your knees come in towards your t-shirt as much as you can and make whatever micro adjustments you need to for your arms. As in, if you need to let them go behind you or closer. But the closer they are towards you, the harder this is going to be. You choose accordingly. Just keep going. Thinking of your heart up towards the ceiling as much as you can, honoring that flat back and that plank. Next time you're able to, arms out long, reaching, bend in, press right back out. I always get teaser vibes, with this one. Maybe you do too. For all we know, this could be a version of the shape of teaser that Joe just wanted to spice in and throw in, to another place. Quick little roll because I lost my balance. I'm human too. Let's go for 2. Last one. Legs out long, lower down. Give yourself a nice little butterfly stretch and shake it out. I need a second, so if you need a second, take your second. But we've got one more variation. Twisting. This one's my favorite. So you're going to go ahead, find your teaser. Then you're going to bend your knees in, find a flex foot. Point your feet, reach, look behind you, bring everything right back in. Point and reach towards the other side, bring everything right back in. Sometimes, it takes me 30 seconds just to say what I want to say to each of you, to get us set up. I also get some seesaw vibes in terms I'm really fighting my torso to stay lifted and to prevent myself from falling back. That's my last one. Shake it out. Let yourself fold forward. In fact, we're going to go into a little bit of a child's pose or end things off very nicely with a little bit of a pigeon, and then we're going to go into a vinyasa. So for pigeon, just pick a leg. Again, doesn't matter which leg. It could be your favorite one. Shin is going to be parallel towards the edge of the mat. You're going to bring that other leg out behind you. Weight onto your hips as much as you can and hold. If this is too much, it is a version of a figure 4 stretch. All you need to do is come up to that proposal stance, for lack of better wording. Let your weight go into that front foot. Really let your hips drop down. And if you'd like to, you can place one hand onto the mat. Same hand or opposite hand is going to reach to the foot behind you. And you're going to pull that in and just let yourself sink forward. With everything that we did today, this is going to feel amazing because I also feel our hip flexors are a bit abused. Let's go ahead, switch legs. Other leg's gonna go out and behind. Other one's gonna come forward. Again, you're either starting in that pigeon, sitting into the stretch, and opening everything up towards the ceiling, letting your hips sink down as much as you're able to. This is more of like a split stretch or similar to splits. And again, if that's not in your practice today, then you're coming up to your proposal stance and you're letting your weight go forward. Just be comfortable. And again, hand can go onto the mat. Same hand or opposite hand can reach out behind you. It's whatever works for you. I just like the opposite one, although I have felt the same one. Basically, the same arm and leg are down onto the mat, and the other one reaches behind you. But take a little bit more breaths, just to let yourself sink into it. And then both hands are gonna come onto the mat. Legs are gonna go behind you and give yourself some cat cows. You're gonna round eyes to thighs, look at your pants, really push your t-shirt up towards the ceiling, and then back bend, look at that wall in front of you. Round eyes to thighs, send everything away, and then let your tummy fall down towards the mat, heart going toward that wall in front of you. Continue to flow, knowing you have full permission to stop, do some wiggles from side to side. Hips can stay still or they can rock with you. Reminds me of Luna when I get home and she's just very, very excited. She's just doing her little happy dog dance. Then you can also do some disco cats. Everything just rolls in terms of your torso becomes a disco ball, but you're still doing this cat shape. And then change your direction. Just a few more breaths here. So that way we're nice and even-ish. And then go ahead, bring yourself back to baseline. You're gonna let your hips fall back towards your heels. Give yourself into a nice little child's pose and breathe. You can add a twist if you want to, taking one arm, threading it underneath it, and then reaching towards that wall in front of you. For me, it's towards the camera. And really push one hand up towards the mat, the other arm down onto the mat, and use that as leverage to open yourself up a little bit more while you send your hips back towards your heels as much as you can. And then when you're ready, come back to center, switch to the other side, thread the arm underneath the other one where they've got that space there. Really use that bottom arm as leverage to open up and then reach your hand towards the end of the mat as much as you can. And just breathe. Hips going back towards your heels, just trying to stretch yourself out a little bit more and sink into it. Let your shoulder fall down towards the mat as much as you can. And then you're going to go ahead, bring yourself back to center, and we're going to flow into our vinyasa. So baby version of the vinyasa is let yourself come forward, go down into that cobra, chest goes up towards the ceiling, and then let yourself go back into that child's pose. Full vinyasa is you start off in the down dog. This is the combination of all the exercises from yoga where it goes. I want you to come to your high plank, go down to the low plank, your chaturanga. Hips come down, uncurl your toes, go to your high or your cobra. Maybe your high dog, hips and knees come off the mat. And then you're going to tuck your chin towards your chest, like spread eagle, roll, lift up, roll through your toes, come back into your down dog. Adjust your feet as you need to, but the flow is the same. You're going to roll through, just like spread eagle and Pilates, chaturanga, high to low plank. Come all the way down onto the mat, uncurl your toes. Inhale, lift, find your back bend. Maybe your hips and knees come off, maybe they don't. But then you're going to tuck your chin towards your chest, roll back through your toes. Maybe you flick through them, maybe you don't. Find yourself into your down dog and just breathe. Roll, chaturanga, cobra, high dog. Roll back to your down dog. A couple more breaths like this. Also, my elbows are just narrow to my side, hugging my t-shirt because that's how I can feel the triceps a little bit more. And I want to give them some love. Roll up. We're going to go ahead, let this one be our last one. Come down. If you want to do more, you're more than welcome to. But that's all I've got planned for us today. You can go ahead, sit up into that down dog. If you want to stretch your legs or your hips out a little bit more, AirPod is about to fall. You're going to go ahead, take your favorite leg, reach it up towards the ceiling, open your hip up, but try to keep your shoulders as square as you can to the mat. Let your shoulder blades go down into your back. Really push your hands into the mat. And then maybe you bend your knee, let gravity take over, open up that hip a little bit more. I like to roll out my ankle because if it wasn't for our feet to take us everywhere, how would we get from point A to B? Like, how would I have gotten my bed out of my bed this morning and come here if it wasn't for my body? I'm gonna go ahead and reverse the direction of your circle. That's what I always think about. It's like, well, what if I just couldn't get out of bed? Then what would happen? Thank you, feet. Thank you, legs. Thank you, body, for helping me move today. Go ahead, bring that leg down. I don't know why, that just reminded me of like a kid's book. I feel like Goodnight Moon. You're gonna go ahead, reach the other leg up if you want to. Hips open up, shoulders stay square. Let your shoulder blades glide down your back. Really feel your lats turn on. Bend the knee, let gravity take over. Foot goes down towards the mat. And then go ahead, wiggle out your foot, roll it around. And just again, take a moment to say, I'm grateful for you. You're awesome. Thank you for allowing me to move, to flow, and to be me today. And then when you're ready, reverse your circle. Let your leg drop down as much as you can. Just let everything open up and be nice and loosey-goosey. And then legs gonna come down. You're gonna do whatever you need to come out of that position. Maybe you shake your hands out because we were onto our wrists for a little bit. Maybe you don't. But this is all the shenanigans. Well, if you want to call it shenanigans, it was really a lot of Pilates, but that's what I have planned for us, or I created for us today. Thank you for everybody who joined. Thank you for those who didn't join live or in person, but you're catching the recording afterwards for your active and movement meditation. I hope you feel grounded, restored, and have a new sense of purpose, if you will, in terms of where do you need to look at your life a little bit more? What areas do you need to expand? It's more full moon energy, but maybe you realize something that you need to release and let go. That's always something that can help us expand, because in order for new to come in, we need to make space for it, which means letting go of the old, or letting go of everything that's no longer serving us, or ultimately that's not bringing us towards our highest and greatest good. Um, Again, thank you, Virgos, for the inspiration for this mat. Next one is in a couple of weeks. It's also on a Friday. It is also going to be at 4:30. Just again, so we can get into the energy. However, this is going to be in Aries this time. Shout out to my Aries fellows. Aries kicks off the Zodiac in terms, kind of fitting to announce it, Jewish New Year. Aries is the Zodiac New Year. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So expect to get fired up in terms of maybe a little bit more reactionary, bubbly, sparks of fire, because every Aries I know, and I am saying this as a humble Aquarius, is very open, and just shares their opinion. If they don't like it, they speak their truth. And if they're angry, right now I'm just hearing sometimes they can pop off. And I want us to pop off the Pilates practice. Maybe we get a little bit of fireworks internally going, become our own internal firecrackers. Um, Aside from that, I don't have any Aries in my chart aside from my midheaven. So I'm going to need to do some research in order to tap into your energy a little better. But I am excited to share what I come up for it. And I hope you're as excited to participate in this next grounded, active meditation with me. Again, thank you all so much for joining. Totally appreciative of you and for spending some time with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye bye. Take care.